Everyone talks about pre-approval, but a lot of buyers don't even know where to start. I believe that in this video, it will paint a very clear image. That way you can do just that. So the first thing is to really understand what pre-approval is if you don't know in the first place. So pre-approval is, say you want to buy $1 million house and you don't have $1 million cash. What you can do is go to the bank and get pre-approved for $1 million by getting a loan. So let's say you wanted to get a loan for $800,000. That means that you would have to put a $200,000 down payment, and then you would have to have a loan for however long, 30, 15 years. And that way you can do a full purchasing power of $1 million by only putting down $200,000. So now that you understand pre-approval, you want to see where and how you can get it. So really there's two main options. The first way is by talking to a lender. And this, for lack of a better term, is going to be a single entity that can get you to many different entities. Now, the other option is going through bank. Again, this is a single entity that can only get you to one entity. So the lender is one person, but they can get you many different outcomes. And a bank is one bank, one outcome. Now you can already see what the pros and cons of both would be. Obviously with a bank, you're going to have one quote that you can see. Now with a lender, they work with multiple banks, multiple different investors, and they can pull from a stream of, again, different entities, and they can give you different options and see what works with you best. So again, a pro for a lender is multiple options. And again, for a bank, you're going to have a con of only being able to have one option. Now, for a pro for the bank side is most people are already working with a bank. So a lot of people feel very comfortable when you're working with just your bank. And again, that would be a con on the lender side because it's not someone that you necessarily know, and some people don't feel necessarily comfortable working with a lender. However, with this, they both have their pros and their cons, and even more smaller ones throughout that. But at the end of the day, a lender is going to be able to give you multiple options and most likely be able to give you better terms and maybe even a better rate, because one thing to understand is when there's a national average of, say, right now it's sitting at about 7%. That doesn't mean that when you go to a bank, it's going to be 7%, and when you go to a lender, it's going to be 7%. It might even change from lender to lender as well. So with that, it's not universal, and that's why my best opinion is to, one, go to a bank and also go to a lender. And on top of that, if you want extra credit, is maybe even going to multiple lenders, kind of similar to how you go to multiple doctors for different opinions. Same thing with a lender, because one might be able to give you 7%, and another person might be able to give you 7.1, which obviously would be a little bit worse with the 7.1. But again, it explains that you can have multiple different quotes from different lenders. Now, another way that you can go about this, and again, I obviously have a little bit of bias because I myself am a real estate agent, but one of the best reasons why I say go to an agent for pre-approval, even though they necessarily don't have anything to do with it, is like I was saying with the lenders, is if you go to lender, you have multiple options, like I was saying. Instead of just going to your bank, they can get you, again, multiple streams. But the good thing with working with a very well-connected agent is I know, or other well-connected agents might know, a bunch of different lenders. And instead of this one lender getting you multiple options, it's multiple lenders giving you multiple options. And obviously, I can't give you multiple banks because you only work with the bank that you're working with. However, I think connecting with an agent first, going to your bank, and then having them show you 1, 2, 3, or even more lenders is one of the best ways at you saving so much money throughout the process. Now, if you look at it with kind of a smaller scope, you might say, okay, Ryan, well, what's the difference between a 6.5 and a 6.6 interest rate? Now, it all depends with the loan amount and how many years, so I'm not going to get into specifics, but the best way to describe it is that 0.1% on a $800,000 loan over 30 years or 15 years. Normally it's going to be 30 years is the average term of a loan, but that's going to be saving you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars by the end of that loan. So the end consensus with all this is to shop around. Obviously, first you're going to want to maybe go to your bank, see what they can get. then you're going to want to go to a lender, see what they can get you. If you want extra credit, going to an agent who can connect you with multiple lenders. But with that, the whole idea of shopping around for your mortgage is to save, even if it's just that 0.1%, like I was saying before, saving just that amount, or even 0.01 or however much, or just simply getting better terms on your mortgage for you, is going to save you so much money along the way. And just doing the, really little amount of prep before can be the difference between, hundreds of dollars a month, and then by the end of your loan, tens of thousands of dollars. So with that, again, shopping around is going to be the best way, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, but really for anyone, to save that necessary money. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I hope it added a little bit of value for you, and it painted a clear image on what pre-approval is and how to attain it. If you really enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate if you left a like and a comment and told me what you liked or even didn't like. And if you really liked it, I would hope that you consider subscribing, because I will be doing these videos weekly. Thank you so much again.